someone on the rack was only used to get confessions. Generally, just a quick look at these tools got the accused talking.
Do people actually sit on that seat? Hey loves, welcome back again. Today we are going to be checking out museums of Germany. I'm so excited to be taking a tour into German museum, into German artifacts, and if you're new here on the channel, please consider liking, subscribe.
Rotenburg's Medieval Crime and Punishment Museum. This museum,
Museum,
the best of its kind, shows graphically how people were punished in the Middle Ages. Each feudal state thoughtfully described its cruel and unusual punishments in carefully written laws. Torture, like stretching someone on the rack, was only used to get confessions. Generally, just a quick look at these tools got the accused talking. Death penalties were common.
Do people actually sit on that seat? That's so gruesome.
And came in degrees. A minor offense, such as stealing, earned you a quick death by beheading. More serious capital offenses, like murder with theft, earned you a slow death, like having all your bones broken under a wheel before your execution. Bad social behavior was dealt with by public embarrassment via shame masks. Men acting like pigs wore this mask. Gossips, people who heard too much and talked too much, would be locked into this contraption with a bell ringing on top. Quarrelsome people would be locked into a double-neck violin until they worked things out. Nuremberg's Germanic.
I actually can't believe all of those things exist for people's crime. What?
National Museum is dedicated to sharing the cultural history of the German-speaking world. For German history buffs, this museum alone, with a vast and gorgeously presented collection, makes a visit to Nuremberg worthwhile. When it comes to Germany's reputation for fine craftsmanship, its passion for quality goes way back. These finely crafted, centuries-old precision instruments were intricate, innovative, and artful. This is the world's oldest surviving globe, crafted by a Nuremberger. Since it dates from 1492, the Americas are missing. While they understood that the world was round, the Western Hemisphere was still just a huge and mysterious sea. The delicate wooden Nuremberg Madonna is also 500 years old. This intimate, anonymous carving of the favorite hometown girl was a symbol of the city for centuries. The German painter Lucas Cranach was famous for portraits of his contemporaries, like the great German reformer Martin Luther. Cranach also painted poignant psychological studies, paintings that came with a message. In The Ill-Matched Couple, the lecherous old man thinks he's got the young maiden, but she looks knowingly out at us, as if to say, he's a fool and he'll get nowhere with me. The great painter Albrecht Dürer worked in Nuremberg around the year 1500. This is a self-portrait of that ultimate German artist. Dürer, who is from the same generation as Michelangelo and Leonardo, was in tune with the Renaissance. He was a genius with a curious mind, a love of nature, and a passion for realism. After traveling to Italy and seeing how artists were becoming well-paid and respected rather than anonymous laborers, he returned to Germany, bringing the spirit of the Renaissance with him. He painted this portrait of his mother when he was a teenager. While just 19, his passion for realistic detail is already apparent. This painting of Dürer's teacher was done after his experience in Italy. Its realism was unprecedented in Germany, and it's signed. Again, now the artist will be respected, and he proudly included.
This looks like a photo that was taken with a 4K, or should I even say 8K, digital camera. Wow. This is actually a painting.
His initials, AD. Dürer was a master at producing engravings from finely etched metal plates. The detail and realism, a trademark of Dürer, is extraordinary. As he was famous in his own time, and because many prints could be made from a single master plate and therefore sold affordably, the engraving technique enabled Dürer to become the first best-selling artist in history. And he made a lot of money. enough to purchase this impressive mansion beneath the castle. Today, it's a fine museum about the life of perhaps Germany's greatest painter. A visit here includes a workshop where you can learn about Dürer's craft. It's with these tools that the artist engraves an image into the copper plate. Visitors are treated to a demonstration of making a print from the plate. The subject is a hare. Dürer was famous for his vivid portrayals of the natural world. To be able to enjoy such beautiful yet mass-produced art must have been a marvel 500 years ago. To underline the focus on culture, an impressive ensemble of purpose-built museums fill Berlin's Museum Island. Galleries here feature art through the ages, from Egypt and ancient Greece to Romantic Age art that celebrates German nationalism. Before 1871, Germany was fragmented, a disorganized collection of little German-speaking dukedoms and kingdoms. But a unification movement was growing, and artists and intellectuals here were all about legitimizing the notion that Germany should be a single, independent nation. The Old National Gallery is filled with paintings from the Romantic 19th century, which made that case powerfully. Dreamy castles harken back to Germany's misty medieval roots. Heroic struggles were waged for the fatherland. German cities were idealistic, God-fearing centers of high culture. And Romantic patriots dreamed of a land where German-speaking people could raise their beautiful children true to their heritage. Checkpoint Charlie, the most famous border crossing between the East and the West, stood about here. Once a tense and foreboding place, it's now a garish commercial free-for-all. Where serious military guards once stood, today actors pose playfully with tourists. Symbolizing the nerve-wracking standoff of the Cold War, a young American soldier faces east, and on the flip side, his Soviet counterpart faces west. The adjacent museum, the house at Checkpoint Charlie, shows how desperation drove East Berliners to all kinds of creative escape attempts, over, under, and through the wall. Escapees would hide, crammed into tiny cars. This one drove 6 people to freedom before finally being discovered. In another car, a person was actually hidden in a false gas tank. And this vehicle, armored with concrete and iron plates, simply blasted through under a hail of bullets. Exhibits show how tunnels were used for transporting people to freedom. Rooms recall the artful diplomacy of the age, including President Reagan's famous speech.
Mr. Gorbachev, open this gate. Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
And the last row celebrates the happy ending, the euphoric days in 1989 when people power literally tore down the wall. Leipzig remembers its tough 20th century with a little whimsy. This statue represents how East Germany endured 2 harsh dictatorships in succession. The flat-palmed Sieg Heil of the Nazis, and the proletariat's raised fist from the communist era. This poor fellow, repressed by both regimes with his head scrunched down, seems to represent individuality under siege. Somehow, he'll get through it all. To learn more, step into Leipzig's Contemporary History Museum, which tells the 44-year story of communism in East Germany. After the devastation of World War II, the line between East and West was drawn, and Leipzig ended up in Stalin's camp. In those desperate post-war years, the stability and security provided by East Germany's communist government was appreciated. Out of the squalor came a forced uniformity, and if you played by the rules, life was not miserable. Housing was a major priority, as so many were homeless after the war. Locals recall how there wasn't a lot, but people had what they needed. Generally, what they had was what their neighbors had. Children all had the same blocks, books, and cuddly stuffed pets. Western pop music, while reined in and certainly controlled, was allowed, from the Beatles to Jethro Tull. But of course, people eventually insist on freedom. To learn more, I'm joined by Leipzig tour guide Gisa Schoenfeld. The hated secret police force in communist East Germany was the Stasi. Its old headquarters now houses a museum dedicated to telling the Stasi's dirty deeds. It offers a fascinating look at what it took to control the people.
This is the symbol for the Ministry for State Security, Staatssicherheit, Stasi.
Stasi, state security. Modeled after the Soviet Union secret police, the notorious KGB, the Stasi recruited over 500,000 informants from every walk of life. It collected mountains of data on its citizens.
Wow.
The former offices contained tools of the trade, a small camera that could be concealed in a briefcase, easy-to-hide microphones, including one hidden in a button, disguises, and forged documents.
The Stasi officers set people on chairs with a piece of cloth, and the piece of cloth would absorb the smell when the suspect sweated during the interrogation. And then they placed the cloth into these jars, preserving the smell. And whenever something suspicious turned up, for example, a leaflet, they brought in the dogs smelled the item, then smelled the jars.
So the dogs would match the smell,
Exactly.
and that would be enough to send them to jail?
That would be enough.
All mail and packages coming into the country was searched. These machines enabled agents to steam letters open, read them, and then reseal them. The Stasi stole millions in West German hard currency, sent to struggling East Germans by West German relatives. And they confiscated piles of cassette tapes which contained forbidden Western pop music. These cassettes were then reused to record interrogation sessions. After freedom, people were free to look at their personal files?
Yes, but it was an agonizing decision to make. The Stasi had hundreds and thousands of informants, so there were colleagues, friends, family members spying on people. And then it was very difficult to choose. Do I want to know what information the Stasi kept on me? But I would also find out who spied on me.
So you could look at your file, but you might find your uncle was informing on you, and maybe you just better not go there.
Exactly.
You guys, this is actually very deep. There's something called Stasi, State Police Security. Wow. This is a lot. It's a lot. I was actually thinking I was coming to see Museum of Germany, but learning about German history, and I've heard about the Western and Eastern German, the whole war, the war between them that like separated them, and then the unification and everything. This is actually very crazy. It's actually crazy and very ridiculous, especially the part when she said they have over a million or 500,000 informants. It can be your brother, your uncle, and it's really crazy. Like at the point, people didn't really had freedom. The thing called freedom was actually scarce then, because even the letter being sent to you, it's actually being read and repackaged and sent to you. You can imagine that, you guys. Looking at the German punishment museum, that's crazy. That's hell of crazy. Even gossipers, liars, thieves, everybody have their crime, their punishment is wow. I can't believe that. And yeah, down to the artwork, the gallery. I'm so happy Germany actually kept their heritage, all of this stuff in somewhere, and people can actually come learn more. And the fact that all of this heritage is being secured is actually a good thing. And seeing the first artists that light, or should I say glory to artists in Germany, those paint work looked like it was being captured with a 4K or 8K digital camera. I can't believe that was something someone painted. That's actually so amazing. Like really, he's very talented, had a lot of talent, and looking through the gallery, that's a whole lot, like literally a whole lot. Let me know what you think about this in the comment section. Please do not forget to like, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys on my next one.